What is going on, everyone? It is Will Mitchell here, and if you've ever wondered about banking in Belize, today I got the foremost expert with me here, Luigi Wewege. Not only is he the president of the largest international bank in Belize, he's been featured in Yahoo Finance, he's been featured in Forbes magazine, he's also famous in Cambodia for being on the cover of Vogue, right, Luigi?
Not quite, but
Okay, maybe not the Cambodia one, but all that other stuff is true. And more important than all of this is a dear friend of mine for almost a decade now, Luigi.
Indeed.
Thanks for jumping on with me, brother.
Thanks, Will.
Appreciate it.
Great to be here. Thank you.
What is Caye Bank? Obviously,
Sure.
you're the president of the bank, but what is the bank and how long has the bank been in business for?
Yeah, so the bank actually got started in 1996 as a mortgage company. It became a fully licensed bank in 2003. As you said, we're now the largest international bank, actually deposit-wise. We predominantly have always stuck to five main currencies. Obviously US dollars, Canadian dollars, British pounds, euros and Swiss francs, but we can obviously facilitate a lot more than that. And obviously proud to be a Belizean bank, and this is our 21st year, and hopefully many more years after this.
That's blackjack year.
Yeah, indeed it is.
Nice, man. And Luigi, for Belize-wise, what is it about Belize that you love? What has kind of attracted you to Belize? Why do you, run the bank here? What's the main focus there?
I think, just from banking aside, obviously, Ambergris Caye for me is the most beautiful island, I think, in the Caribbean. The turquoise water, you've got the second biggest barrier reef out there. Yeah. The fishing, just being out with your lads on the boats and stuff. I mean, it's the best times. Yeah, indeed.
The community.
The community for sure. Yeah, is the people that live here are just fantastic vibes all around.
Of course. And I want to mention quickly, guys, if you're watching this right now, what you're going to learn about today is not only, who should bank with Caye Bank, but we're also going to talk about real estate financing. But just to start from the top, Luigi, what's kind of the prototypical client or customer that banks at Caye Bank? Sure. And if someone's watching this, who should be reaching out to you guys?
Yeah, I mean, from a client perspective, the majority of our clients are actually North American. A lot of them, they set up kind of asset protection structures. So they'll set up a Belizean trust or Belizean corporation and then open a bank account with that. Some will then, once they've wired to us, they'll then exchange that currency diversification. They'll get some euros or British pounds, and that's generally. And then I'd say the third bucket would obviously be real estate and the financing. A lot of our clients are looking to purchase further south, and we're essentially one of the few that actually enable financing for them.
So yeah, I mean, really anyone that wants an account out here. And what's kind of the differences between, I guess, the domestic banks and an international bank? Is the main thing the currency there?
Yeah, so we're an international bank, so we do not essentially deal in local payments at all. That's essentially your local bank here. If you want to make payments locally, we're international, and people come to us in order to wire, to France, to Poland, to South Africa. That's essentially
even
our.
If someone's not doing business in Belize,
they can still
have an account with you guys.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good to know, because that opens up a lot of people that should be definitely reaching out.
And then obviously remote opening, so you don't actually have to initially fly to Belize to open the account. You can do it all remotely. So
remote opening.
Remote opening.
Come on now, guys, I love that. Luigi, we talked a little bit earlier, and this is probably one of, in my opinion, the biggest benefits of banking in Belize. The bank secrecy laws here. Can you just elaborate a little bit on what you were telling me before about bank secrecy here?
Yeah, so there's a number of obviously positives. Bank secrecy is obviously part of it. There's obviously English speaking, which you touched on. Obviously our bank reserve requirements are one of the highest in the world. So for every dollar that comes in, at least a quarter of that has to sit untouched in the bank.
Okay.
You also domestically, you've got a local currency pegged to the US dollar. So and then obviously going back to bank secrecy, your information is your information. It's not given to any third party.
So we got some of the strongest bank secrecy.
So essentially like Swiss, not far off Swiss's banking laws as the Belize Bank.
That's a big time attractive feature for people. And actually, Caye, one more thing you just touched on that we didn't have on our list, but the reserve requirements. What's kind of the benefit of having that high reserve requirement comparing to a place like the US?
Yeah, so I mean, banks in the US are looking at around about 3, 4, 5%, whereas we mandated from the central bank at 24%, but ours is a lot higher. Often it's 34, 36%. And the benefit to that is if something had to happen to the bank, essentially all the liquidity is actually still sitting there.
So it's a lot safer.
A lot safer than other jurisdictions with their
Yeah, and I think we're going to kind of, when we get into more of the real estate financing side, we'll see kind of the flip side of that.
Yep.
It might be a little more expensive, but it does come with that safety,
yep,
which is huge. From the standpoint of, lending, we might as well dive into that right now, actually. Who's kind of the type of person that should be looking at KeyBank to potentially secure a mortgage
yep.
after they're looking at a property?
Yeah, so let me start with the type of clientele. So just going back to who's actually utilizing KeyBank, it's someone that's obviously living in Vancouver, living in Montreal.
Yep.
They've purchased a place down here and they're wanting to pay the architect, they're needing to pay the builder, etc. And often these people have a credit union, and this credit union doesn't actually have Swift, is not part of the Swift network, and so they actually battle to make these payments further south, and essentially that's also one of the main reasons they use us. And then from a real estate perspective, it is 50% LTV,
yep.
But the rates are slightly higher than those in North America. But like I said before, there's not many options around that
yeah.
that are
I mean,
available.
it's great to even have this as an option.
Yeah.
So a lot of people typically will come into the market, they'll buy with cash,
yep.
or they'll find some creative way to finance a
yep.
property. But just knowing that option is
and
there.
Still, and I mean we've and so just to mention that obviously predominantly Belize for us, but we would look at potentially Costa Rica, Nicaragua, and Panama. And for your audience, we have done several mortgages here in Mahogany Bay. So
you got to be careful when you say that.
Yeah.
This guy's email is about to blow up here. So Luigi, one of the big benefits I think is it's more of a boutique banking experience. Could you elaborate just a little bit on what that means for the customers and clients?
Yeah, absolutely. One of the biggest things actually is exchange controls. There are a lot of jurisdictions out there that, if you deposit today, there's restrictions on when you can actually pull it out. In Belize, you can essentially put in $1 million today and take it out tomorrow. There are no exchange controls whatsoever.
That's important. You want to know that you can do that. When you're banking, that would be the most important thing, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
And what would you say is kind of the biggest difference, Luigi, from like a large bank in the United States to the experience of banking at a place like KeyBank?
Yeah, so obviously you touched on a boutique experience. So often our clients will have, different requests that are not listed on our website, but we've obviously been doing this for over 2 decades. So, any question, any request, do come to us, and through our partners that we've developed and maintained over the years, we'll be able to find you someone that will be able to assist in whatever you need.
It's amazing, man. That's what I need. Guys, you think it's easy to send a wire transfer, and then you get in the platform and you're trying to do the thing, and you got to wait in the line at the bank, or you could just call your banker at KeyBank. Sounds a lot better to me.
Indeed.
I think, Luigi, that's everything I had on my list. Is there anything that I missed here? Anything you want to tell the viewers right now before we close this one out?
No, I don't know anything.
Luigi, this is one of the most valuable interviews we could possibly give to the viewers. So thank you, brother.
That's right.
Appreciate it, man.
I think you got that part.
This is a very important part right now, guys. I'm going to tell you, if you want to learn more about banking at KeyBank or Belize Real Estate, bang, Luigi's email's up there. Mine is up here. Any questions you have, shoot me an email or shoot Luigi an email. And outside of that, guys, Luigi, thank you again. And we'll see you in the next video, guys. And of course, hopefully down here in Paradise soon, maybe opening a bank account with Luigi at KeyBank.